Good morning and welcome to Onward in Love and Caregiving. I'm Greg Johnson. I'm the president and CEO of GJP, Greg Johnson Partnerships International, and I'm thrilled to have you with me this morning. This program is one that I have done for many years, and then there's been a period where I have not been doing this program, and it's been a year of dealing with caregiving for myself. As some of you are aware, I had a hip operation, and actually, it was 1 year ago yesterday. I am grateful. I am blessed. I am thankful. It has continued to improve. But I'm not the youngest person around, and I have had polio, I have had strokes. So this is not the first time I've needed to learn to walk and use my legs. And I wanted to just take a moment to begin this conversation with a topic that you know is precious to my heart. Yes, I've just returned from my life, as it were, in Bali, where we've had the great privilege. This was an opportunity that Donnie, my husband, created for us, whereby we created with a very wonderful group of persons in Indonesia a foundation for family caregiving. And the pilot is being done in our beloved Bali. And so we're very excited about it. And if you follow on Facebook, you will see more about the Sahaja Foundation. So it's been a very exciting time. But it was also part of my journey on personally deciding, where am I going to be spending more of my life? Am I going to be doing it in America, or are we going to be doing it America and Indonesia? We are in that conversation right now. And it's all extremely positive. Fortunately, with the gift of technology, we can be together no matter where. And we certainly proved that on this trip, where I had the great privilege of talking to you from Bali on several occasions, not on this program, but on some of the others that we do. So, in being there, I was also spending some time doing continued healing because I had the gift of a pool at the villa, and that is a great, great help. Something I don't certainly have on the 14th floor here in New York City. But I had the pool, and I also had a very wonderful woman who has been someone who does massage. But I call her a healer because her hands are blessed. And it was she who helped to get me to walk after the strokes. And it was she who truly got the coordination going once again with my right hip. And I'm forever, ever grateful. But I wanted to just to reflect because I was the care recipient. Donnie was without question the caregiver. And I was so, so blessed with him as my caregiver because we had several other issues that kept coming up, and he was with me every step of the way. In fact, it was his steps that often led us when I couldn't walk. But it's improving. We had a wonderful team as well. And I wanted to talk about that because it's something that Donnie and I kept talking about. As we were building our team, I had, of course, my primary care doctor. I had an orthopedic doctor. I had the cardiologist. I had the wonderful physical therapist. So they were the four main persons. But one of the things that became obvious to me, and I stepped up to the plate with Donnie on doing it, and that was that while technology allows medical professionals to talk to each other, I was very aware of what they weren't hearing from one another. So I began doing my own emails to the entire team, putting it together and being certain that everyone was on the same page. That was an important thing to do because I wanted no secrets. I wanted everyone to know what everyone else was saying. And we managed to accomplish it. It also became very important because I realized how very important self-advocacy is. And there were certain issues where I took a very, very firm stand and said no to certain things. It was my life that we were dealing with, and I simply said no to certain things that I felt were totally inappropriate and far more for other reasons that were nothing to do with my health. That becomes important. We need to have advocacy, being certain that things are being met. I fortunately did not have a hospitalization because I have a very noted doctor who lives here in my building and who received me home literally after the period of resting a bit after the surgery. And I was very blessed to be able to work with her here in the building. But all of these were steps that needed to be taken in order to eventually take the steps that I needed to do with a pain-free hip. And I'm very grateful it is a pain-free hip. What else did I learn? I learned how grateful I am for having known that I needed to prepare documents prior to going into the hospital, so that when I arrived at the hospital, I had all of these documents that were necessary. And those of you who know of our book, Care for the Family Caregiver, A Place to Start, they're all listed in there. Your power of the direct healthcare directive, the HIPAA release, all of the things that were needed. And I didn't have to fill anything out when I got there. I simply gave them the documents. And that became a very important sort of step. So I wanted to just share some of those things for which I'm very grateful. Also realizing that while I may talk a great deal of caregiving, that I may love the world of family caregiving, in this case, I was the care recipient, and Donnie was indeed the primary care giver. And so I deferred very much to his judgment and his wisdom, and that made such a difference. It also took off a great responsibility from me. I knew that I was in care with someone who was dealing with the professional caregivers. And what am I saying? I'm talking about the three-legged stool of healthcare. I was the care recipient. I had all of the doctors, I had all of them that I was emailing to, that I was being certain they each had each other's email, that they had the phone numbers, that they knew exactly what the conversations were. And Donnie, who knew and worked with them, was also working with me. That's a very practical use of, as I talk about so often, the three-legged stool. And I hope you'll think about some of these because they are extremely, extremely important for you to have. That you have all of your documents ready. If you want a list of them, please go to Care for the Family Caregiver, A Place to Start. Everything is listed there. There are many other resources that will share that with you. But it saves a great deal of time, and it is a very beneficial thing for you to have. Because so often, and I say this again and again to caregivers, as you are preparing documents for your care recipient, be certain that you have prepared yours. Then that would include things like power of attorney and wills. Those go beyond. But I'm talking about things that are necessary when one goes into the hospital, the healthcare proxy, the living will. What sort of treatments do you want? You've made those decisions with your loved ones, and now they are there and can be acted upon and respected. And that becomes extremely important. So I just wanted to take a moment, first of all, to say thank you, because many, many of you have been praying for me, and I appreciate prayer more than anything. Many of you have been with me in some very difficult periods that also came about during my recovery. Changes in my life, changes in my career. But each has been a blessing because the best is yet to come. And of that, I am totally, totally positive. Now, this morning, I thought I would share with you a writing that I've known but one that was one of the first when I first met Donnie. He shared it with me, and it's one that I have always, always loved. The train. Have a listen. At birth, we board the train and meet our parents, and we believe they will always be by our side. As time goes by, other people will board the train and they will be significant. Our siblings, friends, children, even the love of our lives. However, at some station, our parents will step down from the train, leaving us on this journey alone. Others will step down over time and leave a permanent vacuum. Some, however, will go so unnoticed that we don't realize they vacated their seats. The train ride will be full of joy, sorrow, fantasy, expectations, hellos, goodbyes, and farewells. Success consists of having a good relationship with all passengers, requiring that we give the best of ourselves. The mystery to everyone is that we do not know at which station we ourselves will step down. So we must live in the best way, love, forgive, and offer the best of who we are. It is important to do this because when the time comes for us to step down and leave our seat empty, we should leave behind beautiful memories for those who will continue to travel on the train of life. And I wish you a joyful, blessed journey. Thank you for joining me this morning. Onward in love and caregiving. Namaste. God bless, and I'll see you real soon.